Caitlin Clark has just hit out at her coach Christie sides after recent games, and she didn't hold back one bit. Week by week, more fans are rallying behind her. Could it be that Coach Christie sides is on her way out after this season? Caitlin Clark has proved herself to be a force of integrity and leadership. With her great basketball abilities, brilliance on the court, and multiple records already under her belt, the Indiana Fever rookie obviously has a promising future. Her strong will and leadership momentum may occasionally collide with judgments made by head coach Christie sides. When a timeout was called in the heat of the moment, during the last seconds of a game, Clark displayed apparent irritation. She has stated in several interviews that winning games is far more important to her than establishing records. The strong excitement of the game, mixed with the certain defeat before the stoppage, fueled Clark's fury. Caitlin, like previous renowned athletes, appears to be on her way to become a crucial decision-maker within her squad. Nonetheless, patience is essential for her growth, as she is only a rookie in her first season as a professional athlete. Clark's journey is only beginning, and her ability to influence and lead is apparent. However, her attitude was not unnoticed on social media. Clark was once again in the limelight, with some accusing her of disrespecting authority. This time, however, the tide shifted in her favor. Many people rallied around her, acknowledging her dissatisfaction and tremendous competitive spirit. They suggested that her refusal to accept loss represents a philosophy that the entire team should adopt. One user claimed that her displeasure originated from her own error, observing that her final turnover had clinched the Wings' triumph. Clark's competitive spirit is apparent, and it's something every professional athlete should have. With the forthcoming Olympic Games break, Caitlin has the ideal opportunity to rest, refocus, and return stronger. She can turn the page, improve her abilities, and keep up her excellent habits all while playing more basketball. This vacation might be just what she needs to improve her game even further. But this wasn't the first time Clark has hit out at her coach. It is becoming more apparent that the two aren't on the best of terms right now. Just like we won't be on the best of terms if you aren't subscribed, so dunk that subscribe button right now so we can keep you updated on the WNBA with our daily uploads. So, back to Clark, she seemed to have a heated disagreement with Christie sides in the final minutes of their June loss to the Chicago Sky. However, at the Fever's post-game news conference, she calmed fan fears about a rift. But that was back in June, and afterwards in recent games the feeling came back. The Fever were defeated 88-87 in a heartbreaking setback for Clark, as the Sky finally won their first WNBA game over Indiana this season after 3 games. The Fever's fourth-quarter collapse was made worse by an apparent argument between Clark and sides on the sideline, as the guard scarcely shot the ball down the stretch while playing an outstanding floor game before completely disappearing in the closing minutes. Indiana's 15-point lead evaporated as Angel Reese, Chennedy Carter, and Camila Cardoso led Chicago to win late on. However, many have been baffled by Clark's participation in the last stages, as one of the most prolific shooters in women's basketball chose to set up her teammates rather than take the game on herself. The rising star only attempted 2 shots in the final 7 minutes of the game. Clark and sides were subsequently seen toward the end of the fourth quarter engaging in what appeared to be a heated dispute. Sides was seen speaking with Clark and other Fever players before making a frustrated hand motion. Clark looked resentful of whatever Sides had said to her and responded to the coach, who appeared to react defensively by raising her hands up and calmly continuing the talk with Clark. However, the star point guard lowered her head and waved her hands in frustration. Despite criticism of her performance and Sides' tactics from home supporters, Clark defended her play as she recorded a franchise-high 13 assists. "I'm sure there was an opportunity or two for me to probably attempt another shot there at the end, but I trust my teammates," Clark said in her post-game press conference. "Obviously 13 assists, that means my teammates score off 13 of my passes. It's a really great number, so I'm going to give them the ball every time and give them the opportunity to score." In her post-game news conference, Sides appeared to query why Clark refrained from attempting more shots in the final stages. "I never want her to not be aggressive and take shots," she said before referencing one play in the fourth quarter. "I thought she was going to take it to the rim or pull up right. That would have been a great shot for her and for our team." This was some critical feedback for Clark, which she appeared to take well at first, trying more shots in recent games, and eventually the team looked to be on its way up. That was until the last game before the Olympic break, what that moment happened. The Dallas Wings had the worst record in the WNBA going into Wednesday night's game against the Indiana Fever, but they managed to pull out an upset victory before the All-Star break. Despite Fever guard Caitlin Clark's record night of 24 points and 19 assists, Dallas was able to overcome her all-star rookie performance. Fever head coach Christie Sides called a timeout with 17.5 seconds left in the game, trailing Dallas 101-93. The broadcast captured Caitlin Clark on the bench disputing this decision, apparently agitated because the game was out of reach. "Why are we on a timeout? It's done." Again, another example of Clark and Sides not being on one wavelength. This was also shown in the Fame before when the Fever beat the Minnesota Lynx 81-74. Although Indiana won, a move made by head coach Christie Sides during the first quarter upset Fever supporters. She brought Clark out midway through the quarter to chat to her on the sidelines as the game was going on. Clark never misses the first quarter minutes with the Fever unless she is in foul trouble. As a result, Fever supporters are unhappy that Sides chose to do it on Sunday. Clark struggled to find any rhythm in the opening half of the game, which might have been due to the unpredictable playing time. Fans also remarked that Clark appeared displeased by the choice. While the Fever are still finding ways to win games, there appears to be some tension between Clark and Sides. Will this tension erupt in the second half of the season? What do you think? First up, Clark has a rest during the Olympic break, and although she was sad to not make the team, her coach has revealed it has fueled her even more. After receiving the news, the rookie sent a very blunt message to her coach, Christie Sides. Despite her popular position, Clark was not one of the 12 players chosen to represent the United States in the 2024 Paris Olympics. The youngster stated she was not unhappy with the decision to be left off the roster, but she did tell Sides that it gave her something to strive for. "We talked actually on the bus. She got the call on the bus and she texted me to let me know. I just tried to keep her spirits up," Sides told reporters. The thing she said was, "Hey coach, they woke a monster," which I thought was awesome. After discovering the news, Clark stated that she remains supportive of the squad and hopes for gold medal triumph. "I'm excited for the girls that are on the team. I know it's the most competitive team in the world, and I know it could have gone either way. Me being on the team, me not being on the team," Clark said. "So I'm excited for them. I'm going to be rooting for them to win gold. I was a kid who grew up watching the Olympics, so yeah, it'll be fun watching them." What about the silver lining? Clark will finally be able to rest after a demanding year. The youngster needed to make a swift adjustment from college to the WNBA. In addition, the media has been closely tracking her every step. When the Olympics come, she'll be able to take a break. Sides told reporters that she was unhappy for Clark, but that she will have many more opportunities to reach the top Olympic squad in the future. "Yeah, a little disappointed, of course. She's my player," she said. "That's the hardest team in the world to make. That's a tough team. She's young. She's gonna have so many opportunities in the future." Were you disappointed when you found out Caitlin wasn't making the squad? I would have loved to see her play in the Olympics, but a rest for her is also great. Hopefully, she'll be back to her usual record-breaking self after this break. Thanks for watching today's video, and don't forget to subscribe for daily WNBA news.